should. That's all the particulars. Then it should go to here. I keep the quality low on it just to sort of the machine, because you can see your CPU usage down here. You don't want it to get too high because it gets real funky when you do. Now they have to manually start hosting a DB, so it takes a little bit to do that. Interesting. That means
Welcome. Oh God, I moved this in the wrong spot. My name is Dylan, and this is Margaret, and we are coming to you live from the cramped and getting pretty warm pretty quickly streaming closet here at Codename Entertainment in Victoria, BC, Canada. Before we begin, I'd like to thank D&D for hosting us on the official D&D Twitch. It is and will always be an honor to be here. And shout out as well to Erica, who is helping co-produce and moderate this stream with us. This show would be a disaster if that wasn't happening. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm getting over a cold. So today's show will be just an hour instead of 2 to save my voice and stop me from... Oh, I forgot my drink. I brought it back up. Stop me from coughing too much. And we got something really cool from our friends at Beadle and Grimm's that we're gonna dive into. It's actually just right here. So yeah, let's get into this. So you can actually see that Margaret has a giant package from Beadle and Grimm's. It's part of the Platinum box set of Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. And they actually they sent us a note with a prank on it, which was really great. Apparently, some of the boxes were missing this, which is like this sort of like infernal menu. And so because a few boxes were missing it, they sent us an extra one just in case. But with the note that if you did receive it, please leave this extra copy on your neighbor's front porch with no explanation, which is great. You know, so I guess we'll find out whether or not we have one of these in there shortly. So yeah, dive in. What do we got first? I'm just gonna move this mouse out of the way.
Looks like we've got some maps.
Oh.
Awesome map case.
Okay. So this here map, this bin of maps, which has a map on it. It's got some heft to it. It's heavy. You want to pop that open?
Yeah. Many.
So what do we got first? Pull out one thing at a time, or do I?
They don't hear me.
Oh no, not so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just
Yeah.
we'll pull that over a ways closer to you. Closer. Like to the point where you're like,
It's right there.
there you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we
Now
go.
it's like way too close. That's when it's all right.
Good.
I want to just pull one of these out at a time, but it looks like it wants to pull the whole stack. So this is actually a two-person gig.
Hence why I'm here. All right.
Nice satisfying thunk sound.
That
Opening that.
freshly printed map smell.
Oh yeah. Complete with all the chemicals that come along with it.
All right.
Alrighty, where do you want to start?
Let's start with Avernus.
Alrighty, so we have, what is this, like 3 feet by 2 feet?
Yeah, about that.
3 foot by 2 foot cloth map of the first layer of the Nine Hells of Avernus. Which, fun fact, is like somewhat individualized in your experience of it, in that the locations are not fixed distances away, as mortals would understand it. So it could take you a day to walk across it, or like a year.
No one knows. Well, maybe the DM.
I'm sure Asmodeus knows, but yeah, no, the DM. The DM will just, it's their cue to make it up as they go along. Oh god, this is going to be awkward really quickly because there's so much stuff here. So, testing the limits of the amount of space that we have. What do we got here?
We've got Baldur's Gate.
Oh, hey! Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate.
Gate.
Nice big cloth map of Baldur's Gate. I wonder who printed these. They're nice. They're on a, what's that canvas called?
Canvas?
It's just called canvas, yeah. With a whole lot of locations in Baldur's Gate on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Make a sweet mouse pad.
It would make a nice mouse pad, except that I already have a mouse pad.
Yeah.
All right.
Try trail.
Somewhat in spoiler territory. This is a poster as opposed to a cloth map, and it's the city of El Turel. And I'm not going to say why it's the city of El Turel, just in case somebody doesn't know anything about the book yet, the latest book. But yeah,
This is
holy crap, these are huge
yeah,
maps.
These are giant.
Okay, maybe we'll only do a few of them. How many of them are there?
We've got we've got like another 4.
Wow.
Wow.
So some enormous, full-size, very detailed maps. This one is the Elf Song Tavern in Baldur's Gate. Yeah, these are awesome. And they're all double-sided, so... What do we have here? This is a villa. Under the villa. Wow, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Oh, wow.
These are huge.
More maps or something else?
Is there something else other than maps here? Or is it, let's check out this last one. This is a different material. Oh, I see. There's a custom infernal map here. So it's just like covered in bones and like just all kinds of dead stuff. like long vertebrae. Anyways, this is of a like a non-stick material. And I remember reading something, it's probably in the bigger box, about this like modular set of sticky tiles. So you can change this up, which is pretty crazy. So looking forward to seeing that. That's cool. Oh god. We're gonna have to like repack some of this stuff up in order to just fit it all in this room. Because that's, when I say streaming closet, I mean streaming closet. Like,
Yes.
this room is 10 feet by 10 feet, I think. And, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
Oh, okay. This is going well.
Ah, it's all good. Perfect. And then just... Hey.
There we go.
Well, it's not going to fit the lid on it without crushing it, but I'll just move it over here. Alrighty. What's next?
Next.
Oh, the
Oh,
giant
this is
thing.
heavy. this is heavy.
Holy shit. Alright.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that weighs like 30 pounds.
At least. At least.
So, thunk. Wow, I wish this camera could zoom out a little more. I don't know if I could do that with it and like have it not break something, but this is the Platinum Edition tome of Baldur's Gate: Descent into Avernus. It's gorgeous. It's probably easier to see the whole thing on the other camera. Hold it up. It's not small.
No. It is not light.
It's got an embossed cover with a soul coin on it, which is pretty cool. Oh. So, let's see what we got. Ooh. Alrighty, so on this side, there's an enormous soul coin. Actually looks pretty cool on the camera. You can see it. For those who may not know, the currency in Avernus, I don't know if it's the whole nine hells, but Avernus at least, is soul coins. So this is like the minted and pressed soul of a mortal being that you can either spend on something or throw into an infernal engine to power your car. Because that's just how things go in hell. This is probably just this is the forward. Yeah, what's in this box? Lots of stuff.
Everything.
Yeah. I feel obligated to read this out, but I need to take a drink first because my throat's drying out so quickly. Oh, man. Alrighty. Dear brave adventurer, what a time to be alive. So much going on in the world it can feel overwhelming. Climate change, political discord, gun violence, the world is in flux. With all this chaos, is it any wonder that Dungeons & Dragons is more popular than ever? Whenever people say, why do you think D&D is experiencing this crazy/amazing/spectacular success? We ask them about the best moments in their lives and how many of them were spent alone. We all long for connection with other people, for the real relationships that social media and video games often cannot provide. We are storytellers, pranksters, bullshitters, and heroes, and we need other people by our side to share our adventures. We yearn for greatness and a stage, and Dungeons & Dragons provides that. And for the five of us, so does Beadle and Grimm's. This isn't just a company to us, it's a tribe of dearest friends, and our lives are always at their best when we are together. We started this adventure 3 years ago, and we work every night from 8 p.m. to midnight. We laugh constantly, we argue when it matters most, and we're creating something we are proud of. We build these boxes because they make our lives more joyful. We build these boxes to make your games and your time with your tribe a little better. We are proud of who we are as a company, and we hope that when you spend your time around the table with this box, You see the faces surrounding you and remember, this really is a great way to spend a life. Roll crits, be brave, role play with abandon. Sincerely, Bill, Charlie, John, Matthew, and Paul. For those who may not be aware, Beadle and Grimm's was started by a party of D&D players, essentially. The most famous of whom is probably Matthew Lillard. And yeah, rather than play D&D, this is what they do now. So this is the terrain toolkit that I was mentioning goes with that map. So inside, there are all these different like stick tiles that can stick to the different things. Oh god. Dylan's not a hand model, so I'm not like super great at this part, but basically these are all like, they're like not sticky, but just sticky enough to stick to the board, the extra board that came with this. And so they've got a whole sets of stuff. I don't know, what is that, like a pool of blood?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, some dead things, like skulls with legs, effigies, weird demonic stuff. So, oh, and an infernal machine. Yeah, so it's a bunch of cool things that will allow you to customize your impromptu random encounters in Avernus. So that's awesome. Oh, do you want to look at that thing?
Yes. Yes, I do.
What is it?
I believe it is our good friend Lillard. You know, our lovely holly prints. Very soft, very fleshy,
Well, actually,
very cute.
they'll be able to see it's super close right there. I'll move this tome over, this like 30-pound tome. There we go. So that's pretty cool. No, Shankus, it's not a raw chicken. It's a holy font. Yeah. That's cute. Oh, people in the office are going to fight over who gets this.
Yes.
But it's too late. You've already got it. Here you go. Alrighty, so what else do we have? We have some minis here. Oh. Beadle and Grimm. Beadle being the short one. Looks like Gale Force 9 made these, which is awesome. Cool.
Want to open the minis?
You know, I could, but I mean, you could see them in gray on the back there. That's what they look like. I will probably drop it and like have to fish underneath the table to get it. Oh, this is part of the weight. So one of the things that Beadle and Grimm does that's really cool is they make these like metal props. I don't know if they did these ones with Han Cholo, but they have in the past. And so we have badges that are like actual pin emblems. So I don't actually, that's a Flaming Fist one. I'm assuming this is a Waterdeep related one because I don't know this one off the top of my head, but this is the Hellriders badge. And one of the cool things about these is that you can actually get these from their store if you wanted one or more. So if all of your players became Hellriders somehow, you can order these actually from the Beadle and Grimm site. All right. Oh, packing this box up afterwards is going to be tough. Okay, so this is cool. This is the thing that Eric, our CEO, was talking about the most. Oh, I have to re-loop that one link.
Oh, that's cool.
Might need pliers in order to properly link that back in. I'll hold it up here like this so you can see it. I believe this is like an infernal contract, and it's like made out of like pressed, I don't know, something copper-ish. cool. You want to see that?
Yeah. Oh, it's empty. Like, you wondered where all the pennies in the world, well, in Canada went. It went here.
Yeah. Now, anybody familiar with Beadle and Grimm's box sets probably has an idea of what these are. These are, I'm only going to show some of them, but oh, there we go. These are encounter cards that are for DMs and players. Like, oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Archon the Cruel. Now, is anybody wondering what CR, Archon the Cruel, is as a monster? Like, obviously he did that guest spot on Critical Role and just stole the glory / Hand of Vecna at the end of the first campaign finale. But the backside has his full monster bio with like everything on it. So these sit on top of DM screens, like you see how it kind of folds. So it sits so the players can see this part. And the DM sees this part. And then you can look at it and see, oh, he's got 221 hit points and is a CR 16 monster. Which is to say that he could probably devastate a party if you happen to fight him. And if you're unlucky, assuming you're at that point where you can fight him, he could probably TVK you. Well, he can cast Finger of Death 5 times, so...
Wow.
That's brutal. Anyways. Yeah, I think this is Bell. Yeah, Bell. One of the Lords of the Nine. Horned Devils. And just tons of stuff. Ooh, that guy looks awesome. Is that Haruman? Oh, Olanthius. One of the, like, Knights of Hell, I think. He's a Death Knight. Yeah. That's super rad. That's a killer picture, too.
That is a killer picture.
I vaguely remember this guy being some jerk in the book. And there's just tons of stuff. Like, it's a lot of the things that... Is that a Slod? Oh, Husbrook. A lot of stuff that's unique to Descent into Avernus is in here. Like, these are Krokatoics. They're like giant whale-sized demons that swim in the river Styx and puke out more demons on you. Like, by itself, it's already a CR14 thing to fight, but I suspect that has a lot to do with the fact that it can puke up how many monsters at a time? Disgorge Allies. Opens his mouth and disgorges 1d4 Bargluras, 3d6 Nulls, 1 Fang of you-know-who, 6d6 Dretches, and 1d3 Vrox. So yeah, it just pukes monsters on you like crazy. Anyways, I'm not going to show all of them. But yeah, the art is just killer. What I like about this is it actually also has the artist in the corner. And then, of course, where is it? Fun fact, this is Mahadi, and I know it's Mahadi because when we did the D&D live event earlier this year, we had to pledge our allegiance to him if we wanted to be in the market, and so we were technically working for him. And he was pretty benevolent as far as Rakshasa go. There's got to be a Zariel in here somewhere. Oh, maybe I passed it. I don't know. Anyways, cool challenge cards. I like these a lot. More layers. I'm gonna create so much garbage in here. Let's leave it alone. I'll clean up after. Here we go. What do we got? Oh, this thing's also wrapped. Holy.
Wow. Okay.
Want to open it?
Sure.
While Margaret opens that, in each Platinum box, but I think pretty much every Beadle and Grimm's box, what they have is a modular form of the book that's like usually broken up into chapters. So you're not carrying quite the entire book around with you everywhere you go all the time, which is pretty nice. So yeah, chapter 1, A Tale of Two Cities, I won't. I'm not going to go into these ones too much and spoil it, but it's very cool to have these broken down into smaller books because you tend to know more or less where your players are. You don't need to, carry the whole book around all the time, which is pretty sweet. What else we got here? Oh, a bunch of DM screens. An abundance, a plethora.
So many.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to hold this up. Try not to hit you. And this one has like all the information about Baldur's Gate on the inside of it. So like this is like the before you've descended into Avernus DM screen. And then this, I believe, is the after you've descended into Avernus DM screen. Oh. And it's got a whole bunch of Infernal Machine stuff and characters on the back of it, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna put those back. What do we got here?
We have the comprehensive thesis on the nature of the Infernal. Very handy.
How does that fold? Does it fold out now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, Eric's gonna like this. He loves paper ephemera. Hey, I like this. It's got a
Ooh, the 9 layers.
the 9 layers on the back of it. I can never remember them all. Quick, what are the 9 layers?
Well, we're gonna go with Avernus, this, and then I'm gonna run out real fast, and by real fast I mean now.
Fair enough. Yeah, they're all on here. That's cool. Leave that there.
Here, I'll flip to the 9 layers. Big ones in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
What's this?
It's the Creed Resolute.
The Creed Resolute. Okay. Cool. What? And this is key art?
More key art, yeah.
Oh, this stuff is also made to fold on top of the DM screen. So these are some of the Vathampur family out of Baldur's Gate, who are NPCs. And this would be Candlekeep. Is that El Tyrell while it's in hell? Yeah. El Tyrell, having seen better days. I'm only going to do a few of these actually, because I don't want to spoil all of it, because the art in here is awesome. And let's see, there's the river Styx. Looks like a real pleasant place to be, you know. Somebody who's had a bad day in Avernus. Wow, I'm not even sure what this is, but it's super creepy. Hey, my buddy Mahadi again. And and I'll just leave. I'll just show one more. Archduchess Zariel. That's cool.
Got a handy list of taunts.
Red cap taunts.
Yep.
Oh,
In
that's
this
sweet.
form.
Yeah, red caps are these little jerks right here. Screw those guys. That's funny though. I like this. I would totally use these. Do you have skins? I need the skin of a left-handed elf sorcerer. If I get that, I complete my set. What are these? Oh, I see.
you go.
So these are some pre-gen characters. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So is it a pre-gen party, like the whole 4 of them? 4 or 5?
Yeah. Preaching party.
Yeah. Dwarf cleric, human paladin, elven monk, tabaxi rogue, tiefling warlock.
And
How did they roll this tiefling? I want to judge it now. I'm curious. What do we got? Faction agent. Oh, I see. So looks like a Pact the Fiend. Interesting.
And then some bonus encounters.
Oh. Bonus encounters? Oh, some extra encounters that they've come up with that you can throw into the into your session. Well, that's not good. That's a mind flayer.
I mean, if things were good, we wouldn't be in Avernus, but you know.
Well, touche. Cool.
Cool. We've got
And then, what is that?
War machines.
Oh, okay. So, war machines are kind of an interesting thing in that, like, vehicle mechanics are being expanded upon more and more as part of 5e, and here we have some of the infernal war machines. Like large vehicle, huge vehicle, gargantuan vehicle, a demon grinder, 12,000 pound, AC 19, 200 hit point, 100 speed. Cool. That's cool. Neat. Speaking of war machine, I'm pretty sure the last thing in the box is actually a war machine.
Yes.
Some more individual dungeon tiles, except these look like they can link together if you want to.
This one's not as heavy as the last one, but I'd call it light.
As it turns out, we were missing that page, so thanks for sending us that page. Oh. Oh dear.
Set up.
Ah. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's cool.
Feels like it opens or something. I don't know how to open it, but it feels like it opens.
Oh. Oh yeah, so maybe you could put.
Yeah, there's room to
Yeah.
put minis inside it if they're inside the war machine. A little bit of a tighter fit on the back part. It's like a hellish Batmobile, yeah. Yeah, basically. That basically is it, what it is. Yeah, and that is the vast majority of the contents of the Platinum Box for Descent into Avernus. Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. That's really cool.
So one thing I wanted to mention, because yes, unfortunately these are sold out. However, you can. The next box that they're putting together is not. So if you want a gold edition of Eberron Rising from the Last War, which ships in February, yeah, head on over to Beadle and Grimm's website and check that out. It's pretty cool.
I think they have more plushies still as well.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And more importantly, they have more plushies, because I imagine we'll need to order more because people are going to want
Yes.
Lulus.
This is something on my desk now.
All right. Let's repack this. Wait, no, actually, putting these in like that is a bad idea. Because getting them out again is going to be impossible.
Apparently, we should just watch the video backwards to repack it.
Yeah. Cheeky. I knew this would happen. That's why I figured it out as I was putting it down. I'm like, oh, that's going to get stuck now. So. this in a slightly different order than they gave it to us. And then, do I have... These ones are like just a bit too flush. I think they need to go on top. No other cards or anything over there?
Certificates.
Oh, cool. Certificates. Neat. Adventures League stuff. Anyways, that is the tome. Just gonna steal this now before Eric gets it.
Yes. Yes, I have wanted with Lulu.
Oh. Good lord. This is such a...
Oh, wait. No, I forgot that.
No, I didn't forget it. I'm
Oh,
keeping
okay.
it.
Okay. That's your desk.
I'll put it back later. No, somebody else will want to look at it. But for now, this is my soul coin. Actually, is this a soul coin or is this the other thing? I thought the soul coin's at the bottom. Well, whatever. Oh, man. Anyways, thanks for your help with that, because I definitely would not have been able to do that without you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
No worries. I thought it would actually take us longer to get through it all. We got a little bit of time, so I am going to do something I should have done earlier when I was not thinking about it. Bum, 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 bum. Use the mouse? Yeah. Using the mouse is something I should have done earlier. No, I usually... Oh god, you can pre-purchase the new Half-Life game already? Cool. If I had a VR setup, maybe. But... It's funny because I have to wait for this to boot up. Wow, this thing is hefty.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you could frisbee that across the room and like just kill somebody.
Yes. Or like knock out a monitor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
wow, they're just monitors. We got like everybody's got at least 2 of them, right? So, alrighty, what's my party doing? Oh, I am doing a variant, so let's pop that over. I'll put this back in the box. Good lord. Does anybody have any questions? I know I didn't really answer any while we were going, but I just wanted to go into this. Can you imagine actually having to carry a few dozen of those soul coins to go shopping? Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're carrying soul coins around to shop, you are probably in hell. In which case, you know, it's the favored currency of all fiends. What else do we have? Is there a school or apprenticeship to become a professional unboxer? I just saw that and now I need it in my life. No. And honestly, I was going to put unprofessional unboxers, but I wasn't actually sure if when I did that, if it would fit in the text or if it would crop part of it out of the window. So I left it at professional unboxers. Twitch Mithril is one of our community managers, community leaders. Says, hello, welcome to the team.
Thank you very much. I already heard lots about you. All of it good.
Alrighty. So at the end of Descent into Avernus, do we end up in Tokyo or on Mars? Yes.
Both.
So we drawing a massive Furbolg Druid Ranger today. No, we're not so much planning on that. Was that elf Jander Sunstar? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think it was, but we'll have to take a look. Some keen-eyed players have noticed that on my screen, Archon looks a little different than he does elsewhere. Shame on me for spoiling that a little early, but I have some unreleased stuff on my account. Thanks, Chris. And Archon is getting a new skin to commemorate the events at the end of Critical Role's first campaign, which happened shortly after our game launched, after Archon had already been added to the game, but before he had decided to do some of those things. So yeah, this is a new skin, complete with more spikes and more evil, and a bunch of slightly different animation because he's moved Fane Eater from his left hand to his right to accommodate the fact that he's got a glowing hand of the most evil lich of all time. Probably the most evil lich of all time. I don't know.
Probably.
Vecna the Whispered One. I feel like he's probably the worst. So that's coming soon. Although obviously some of it is already available in the game files, but that will be coming soon. Let's see. Perhaps I was later and did not recognize. All the material seems to be of high quality too, or can a game master / dungeon master taking a catnip during his wizard player decisions find damage it? What is the impression? Everything in here is pretty rugged. The monster cards that fold over the DM screen are like they're paper. They're folded paper. So, they're not going to hold up to a lot of tugging on it or pulling on it. Or maybe you have a small child and they're like, and they could just destroy it in a second. But the props are all metal and they're pretty rugged.
A lot of the maps are like nice, thicker too. Like they're thin paper.
Yeah. There's a few paper maps, but for the most part, a bunch of them are cloth, like cloth canvas, and they're it's good stuff. They're not skimping on it. I don't know what the margins are for their profit for selling these boxes because they do sell for a fair amount, but they are not skimping on the quality of the ingredients, not at all. CPO Ryu, why do monsters one-shot my heroes in Arya Chicken? That sounds like your heroes need more health. Are you using a tank at the front of your formation? And if so, how many tanks are you using? Alrighty. J-Danger P. I just started playing a few days ago. Any pointers for someone who doesn't have much of much? The best guide for somebody who is fresh that isn't, there's a lot of best practices for how to get started in Idle Champions. And the opinions vary somewhat on it, but the gist of it is that there is a really cool guide by one of our community leaders, Mars, who did a vow of poverty, which is to say he didn't buy anything, didn't unlock anything, and didn't open any chests or use any loot. And he completed unlocking all of the, both of the campaign evergreen unlocks in the game and completed most of the content. So his guide is a good one to get started just because it covers a lot and it should really help you get going. The kind of rule of thumb to start is that you pay for, if you feel like spending gems, you get silver chests until you've managed to get equipment for all of your core / evergreen characters, the characters that you start the game with. Once they've all got equipment, you switch to gold chests until they all have epic equipment. And then somewhere in there you consider whether or not you want to get a familiar or two if it would really help your gameplay. But otherwise, it's just focusing on getting gear because that's the biggest thing to help for early progression. Alrighty. If I want to use images or art from Idle Champions as background in my amateurish gaming streams, do I need permission? If yes, where can I get it? So that's a complicated question. Without getting so I'm not an IP lawyer, so I can't really get into an accurate way to describe to you what constitutes fair use especially of a game. What I can say is that Idle Champions is an officially licensed D&D game, which means that Dungeons and Dragons, therefore Wizards of the Coast, therefore Hasbro owns all of it. Like, this is their stuff. So, party's going to wipe in the background. So, because of that, you know, you'll want to figure out what constitutes fair use of something, and then, you know, from there kind of determine what risks you're willing to take. That being said, if you are not a popular streamer, and I'm assuming you're not Shroud, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Yeah. Where do you get this UI? I'm glad you asked that, Cranman11. This is the gamepad UI that is also available as the default UI on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So if you're a Steam user, you can go into your settings. Maybe I should just kill him quickly. Whoops. And if I want him to actually die, I'll put a familiar on that. Ultimate. Just keep casting it. Those are the quick ones, right? There, he'll eventually die. You go into your UI, and in your settings, there is a gamepad UI mode that you can toggle off and on. And as long as you have a gamepad of some kind plugged into the game, when you toggle it, the game will close, and when it restarts, it'll try to boot it in gamepad UI mode. And here you are. The functionality is slightly different between the two platforms, or the two UIs, so just keep that in mind. Liege Huster, is Archon going to be a purchase skin or an event skin? It's probably not something I should mention too much yet. Yeah. That being said, nah, screw it. It's going to be a DLC skin pack. Alrighty. Cassius 335 question: why do feats related to Celeste's healing ability say Celeste's healing ability instead of cure mass wounds? It kind of stands out because Crusader's Mantle is called such in feats. That is a great question about our wonderful consistency that I'm going to pass along to Chris and Justin so that one of them can take a look at it. The Grimm stuff, how expensive is it? This box set is, I think, a $500 box set in US dollars. Which is like $9 bajillion Canadian, and you know, God knows how much of other currencies, but yeah, they're expensive. Twitch Mithril. Can you share some insight into the champion design process? Like, how closely do you work with streamers to create a champion? Do they give input or just sign off on it? That is a huge question. Give me a second. I need a drink of water first. So it does vary from person to person, because in some cases they are characters that were created by somebody and played by them over a long period of time, like when we worked with Anna Prosser. Whereas other times they are characters created by somebody for something completely different and not played by them, but they're in books that they wrote, like when we worked with Aaron Evans to go over Farida. And so, you know, it tends to be a weeks-long collaboration where we have everything from conference calls or video calls to, you know, tons of back-and-forth emails or even, you know, texting, just trying to isolate exactly what it is that makes a character and try to find a way for them to fit that way into the game. And then it usually comes to Justin and Chris to try and find a way to make them unique, you know, because we don't want to repeat character design if we can avoid it. So trying to find a way to make each one unique as well, which is kind of an interesting way to go about it, in the sense that, you know, I don't know how many of you play a lot of D&D, but, you know, people who play fighters or paladins, like, tend to play pretty much the same way each time, right? Like, you know, you're a paladin, you divine smite stuff. You're a fighter, you hit things a lot with your weapon. And so trying to find a way to make that character different in each version of the game is like where the inherent challenge is in trying to be creative. But so far, you know, Justin and Chris are up to the task and always coming up with new things. So here we are. That's probably what I can get into right now, Twitch Mithril, just because I want to get a few more questions answered before we wrap this up. And my throat and voice are fading fast. The weekend buffs. Sure. Hold on. Those changed recently as we were making some adjustments. Let's see. This weekend. New Recruits Weekend. With Dinar, Grama, Calliope, Minsk, and Volania. And a golden epic for Grama. What about backgrounds and the like, and not characters? I would like to use a hellish background as my stream. Again, like, you know, keep in mind that you're using something that belongs to somebody else. So I don't know if you've monetized your streaming, but if you have, then that could create an issue for you. And if you haven't, it probably won't. That's kind of where the whole fair use stuff kind of fits in. So you'd be better off making an invitation. Is there a planned timeline for Gamepad UI to come to tablets? I just want to be able to see all the champion slots on one screen, so I stop forgetting to take a familiar off my click damage. There isn't, because this UI isn't designed with tablets in mind, and you know, we don't currently have any plans to port it over to the tablet version of the game. That being said, you know, I can make a note for David to have another check on it at some point. Artie, I have a question. Why do you have headphones? Are you listening to music? Behind the scenes a little bit. Basically, this is so that I can hear how loud I am when I talk into the microphone, or how loud Margaret isn't, as she sits quietly beside me.
Yeah, I'm too new to talk about things.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to blow at anybody's ears when they tune into the stream. And I need to hear how loud the background music is relative to everything else. And if I'm watching a video or whatever, because sometimes we do that, I need to be able to hear how that is to kind of judge it. So it's like I'm basically doing my own sound production at the same time. So that's why I'm wearing headphones. Like most streamers. ETA on the next patron. I don't have an ETA on it. Patrons represent a lot of content for players. Like each one is, hey, everything. So it's a lot, basically. Am I aware that my party is wiping? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm done the adventure, so actually I can just finish it. I was just gonna leave it because, you know, it made more sense than starting a new thing while the stream is going, but. Alrighty, why can't the UI be updated in specific to leveling? I just learned you can over-level about 2 days ago after playing for months. Well, you know, there's always an opportunity for making your UI a little more efficient and trying to find ways to make things a little bit more obvious to players so that it's intuitive when you use it. So I can pass your feedback along, but the crux of it is that, you know, you can change how much you level. Like on a PlayStation controller, you can actually right and left click, or a Xbox controller or whatever. Gamepad. Oh, right. I need to select somebody else. So we need to kill something with clicks in order to have some money to buy some people. Oh God, I picked the wrong one to end this. I'm just gonna dump people in. Since it's like, I guess this is a core champion free variant thing. Oh dear. This is not an optimal formation. This is just me throwing stuff in quickly. Alrighty, I'll keep it going for a little bit. Anyways, we got just a few minutes left. Alrighty. Have you considered the 4th edition Fells 5 comics as a source for characters? We haven't. You know, we tend to stick to 5e as much as we can, so yeah. Have you considered raffling off a new champion to the community for charity? For instance, Child Pay auctions strips for Penny Arcade. Could C&E auction the ability to design a champion after a home character with proceeds going to charity. I mean, it's an idea. I don't know if it's something that we would pursue, but I can pass that along to the team and see if they like it. And then a question for you. This is a good one to end it on. How are you liking working at Codename?
Ooh. Well, I am very fresh, as in this is my first week, but I can honestly say that I have been looking forward to going into work every morning, which is a very privileged place to be. So yes, I like it very much.
Awesome. Okay, so because I am quickly losing the ability to talk, I'm going to just start wrapping this up now. So this has been our very short show for Thursday, November 21st. 2019. So thank you guys for joining us and for participating and sticking around through the obnoxious sounding, I'm sure, unboxing, because the mics pick up that plastic real well. First off, I'd like to thank Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse for graciously sending us one of their Platinum Edition box sets for Baldur's Gate Descent into Avernus. And as mentioned before, while this box is sold out, they have started taking orders for their next box, the Gold Edition of Eberron Rising from the Last War, which will ship out in February. These Beadle and Grimm's box sets are getting more and more popular. So if you think you want one, I recommend getting on it because they definitely sell out in advance these days. So check them out. This show exists because of a number of amazing folks behind the scenes, especially my co-producer Erica, as well as our partners at Dungeons & Dragons, Greg, Bart, Pelham, Allison, Shawling, and Lisa. Huge thanks to Margaret for helping me out today. And it's funny because I had forgotten and I wrote before I forget. I know that Thanksgiving is coming up in the US next week, but you may actually want to tune in regardless because we actually pre-recorded an interview with a very special guest that's going to be part of next week's stream. So, I mean, you could always obviously watch the VOD later, but I'd rather you tune in to me instead of spending time with your family on Thanksgiving. So take care, everybody, and have a wonderful weekend.